Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be getting befuddled today with a puzzle called Befuddlement by Oddlyeven. And as you can see, and rather delightfully, this is a fog of war Sudoku. And it's got this rule that we've been enjoying so much in recent months, where you can't repeat a digit on a constraint, although I think it might be values on a constraint in this puzzle. But yeah, we've had this recommended a lot, and I found it on Logic Masters Germany just before I turned on the webcam. The praise this has got over there is absolutely stellar. I think we could be in for a treat. 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty though, so it might not be terribly simple, but this is what we're going to attempt in today's video, and I'll read you the rules in a moment or two's time. Now, what can I tell you about before we kick off today? There are a number of things going on, actually. Well, let's start with what's happening over on Patreon, where we've got our monthly competition very much up and running. Back to the Future. It's now 40 years, believe it or not. I mean, how old does that make it? Can it really be 40 years? 40 years since this film was released. One of the great movies. Blobs has made an incredibly good tribute to it. It's a Sudoku pack featuring, as you can see there, 10 Sudokus. Let's see where we are. Reload. So we're at 1738 and 590. So the 1738's only gone up by, well, by less. Well, we're going to get to 2000, aren't we, by the 20th? I think we are. That's the goal. And 628 now have solved all of it. That's just phenomenal. The prize, as it's been in recent months, is the chance to make a Sudoku video with me. We'll solve a puzzle together and see how we get on. Michael, who won last month's competition, is ready and waiting. So we're just going to schedule a date to hopefully record something, which should appear on the channel soon. Actually, we've got a few extra videos coming soon as well. One of Nickley puzzles that I've solved, which I really enjoyed. Maverick. How I've missed you. Maverick's going to fly over, so there's going to be a little bit of aeroplane noise. Can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. But what else? What else can I tell you about? Well, actually, hang on. Can I wanted to go back to that, but I can't. We're streaming again next Monday night. Rita. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen in case you're interested in joining us for that. Rita is. It seems to be some sort of adventure game in which you explore, and there are wordy puzzles on your journey, and there's a poll over there to find out what you'd like us to do, read blueprints as well. So if you want to get involved in that, do visit the link. App news, any moment now. It could have happened by the time this video goes live. There are 2 new Sudoku worm apps coming out. One by the great juggler Michael Lefkowitz, one by the great Fistamafel. So absolutely tremendous. So the worms are basically packs of puzzles entirely by one particular author, so it really allows us to showcase the brilliance of some of these constructors. We've had one out by James Sinclair and one by Marty Sears already, so Michael and Fistamafel coming next, and could be out right now. We're just waiting on the App Store, that they have to sort of do an internal approval thing, and then it goes live. But so that could be at any moment. Actually, also on Patreon, there's going to be my attempted solve of Sabre's recent listener, Spider. So that might be interesting for anyone who's interested in cryptic crosswords. And I've got 2 birthdays to do today. We'll start off by saying happy birthday to Mara. Mara's turned 17. And I really enjoyed, in the nicest way, I really enjoyed hearing that Mara struggled with maths, but has found these videos helpful. That's just, I mean, that's sort of what I originally thought they might do. So I'm delighted to hear that. And I believe you're having chocolate cake today as a sort of testament to the channel. Quite right too, and I hope it's properly iced. And then we'll go from Mara's birthday to Tara's birthday, because Tara, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your partner Ben wrote to me. I know the 2 of you are currently on holiday in Luxembourg, hiking, seeing the sights, and on your rest days you've spent 2 days doing the Patreon reward, the Back to the Future reward. So what a lovely way to spend a holiday. And I was tickled to hear that I think Ben was into the channel originally. Tara was deeply skeptical about why on earth anyone would want to watch Sudoku videos, but now Tara has sort of got invested in the channel as well and is now the master solver of the household. So Tara, well done on that, and thank you. Thank you for being converted, I suppose, and I hope you have a great birthday. It sounds like you will. Is that all the news? It probably is. It's probably all the news. Why don't we get befuddled together by having a look at Befuddlement by Oddlyeven. The rules are as follows. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Dynamic fog. The grid is covered in fog, and placing a correct digit will remove the fog from its cell and possibly other cells in the grid. Now, doublers. One cell in each row, column and box is a doubler. The value of a doubler cell is equal to twice its digit. Each of the digits from 1 to 9 appears in a doubler cell. Then we've got the uniqueness rule. Uniqueness. On each of the constraints below, values, which has stars around it, so that must be important. Values do not repeat anywhere in the puzzle. For example, if there is a 2 on a parity line, 2 or double 1 can't appear anywhere else on the parity line, but double 2 could appear because it has a value of 4. I mean, that's a great example and indicates how befuddling the puzzle might be. Whispers. Adjacent values on a thin green line. Is that line particularly thin? Differ by at least 5. Renban, or can't see any renbans. Values on a thick purple line form a set of consecutive numbers with no repeats. Values, again, it's all values. And then parity, adjacent values on a hollow red line must alternate between odd and even. So let's just do a quick... See, I'm nervous even about talking about these. So let's just quickly run through how this might work. If this digit was a... Actually, I don't want to do it with big letters in case I luck out and I get a digit right and it clears fog. If that was a 1, let's ignore doublers for the purposes of our examples. This digit would have to be 6, 7, 8 or 9 in order to be sufficiently different from 1 to meet the criteria. Now if we had a renban line, let's draw one of those in. If this was a 1, this line would have to be a consecutive series, so it would be 1, 2 and 3. So something like that could fill the line. And then the other one was a parity line, which was red. Oh, not like that. It wasn't like that. It was meant to be like this. So let's say this was a 1. Now, this parity line is meant to oscillate polarity, isn't it? So this is odd. So this should be even. So 2, 4, 6 or 8. And then this would be 3, 5, 7 or 9, because it couldn't be 1 without breaking Sudoku rules. Now obviously everything I've just said is subject to this modifier, which is that some cells in the puzzle are doubled, or their values are doubled, and that's going to befuddle us all. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this line to where I can see it's going, because that will please me. So it goes at least like that, we can say. And that seems to me to have way more than 9 cells. Because normally in these uniqueness puzzles, you can't have a line that's longer than 9 cells, because you're not allowed to repeat a digit on the line. Now here, though, we've got values, haven't we? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got... Well, okay. Okay, so as Maverick flies over again, I can say something about this, I think. Because, yeah, how are we going to achieve 12 different values? Each one of these boxes can't have more than 1 doubler. So we could have 3 doublers and we could have 9 digits, if you like, which had their stock values, their normal values. So if we had a 4, it would have the value of 4, and that would get us to 12 different values, providing that the doubled values were not repeating the values of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that must be what's going on. There's no other way of doing that, is there? We have to have one of every digit on this line as a sort of plain vanilla digit, undoubled. That gives us 9 values. And then we double at least a 5 in the 3 doublers that must be on this line to create values of, say, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And that will get us to 12 different values, and there can't be another way of doing that. So what that tells us is there is a doubler in one of those, there's a doubler in one of those, and there's a doubler in one of those. Now, what does that do then? Well, I don't know. I don't know what it does. But the first thing it's trying to make me think about, I think, is the surprise that 5 is on this line. Because it must have 5 on it in order to have 12 different values. And the 5 is going to have its own value. And normally, imagine there were no doublers, you couldn't put 5 on a German whisper. Why is my phone buzzing? Is that WhatsApp? Yes, that's WhatsApp. And the reason you've got such a problem with 5 on a green line is that the adjacent digit or digits have to be at least 5 different from 5. And if you go downwards, you get to 0 or negative numbers. And if you go upwards, you get to double-digit numbers. Now, of course, double-digit numbers are normally impossible, but in this puzzle they are possible because of the value thing. So 5 on this line has to be next to doublers, because there's no way of reducing values to 0 or negative numbers. Yeah, okay, so that's a good question. Where is 5 on this line? And the answer is there, I think. Because if it was in any other position, the line's sort of designed, isn't it, so that each cell has 2 neighbours. In fact, that cell has 3 neighbours. That cell has to meet the rules for that one, and that one. Okay, but all the other cells have at least 2 neighbours. And given 5 has to be next to a doubler, you'd have to put 2 doublers as neighbours to the 5. But those doublers would see each other by Sudoku, wouldn't they? I mean, if we put a 5 there, those would both be the doublers. If you put a 5 there, those would both be the doublers. There's nowhere on this line. It doesn't move diagonally. So we can't put 5. You just can't put 5 in any of those positions, because the 2 doublers it would necessitate would see each other via Sudoku. So I think that is, well, this is huge. I think A, that is not a doubler, because I think it's a natural 5. Now this is the okay, that was correct because it cleared fog. But now there's a doubler in one of those 2, so there is no doubler in the rest of row 9. Which means there's a doubler in one of these 2, which means there's no doubler here. This is already splendid, isn't it? Splendor, splendor everywhere. Okay, so there's a doubler up there by Sudoku now. And okay, and we know that's the doubler. That's got to be the doubler. And this is a big old digit. Because it's got to be, it can't be a doubled 4, for example, because it would only have a value of 8, and it wouldn't be sufficiently different from 5. So that's a high digit. That's a 6, 7, 8, or 9, having a value of 12, 14, 16, or 18. Now, oh, see, that's really weird, because that makes me think that this, I wanted to make this a low digit now, but it doesn't have to be. Because imagine that's double 9. With a value of 18, well, that could be an 8. You could have a 9 and an 8 next to each other on the line. They would be 5 apart. So yeah, so this is already befuddling me because yeah, that's weird actually. Sorry, and the reason I'm just slowing my mouth down slightly is that normally along Whispers, the big game in town is firstly to not put 5 on them, which I've had to do, and secondly to then piggyback off the fact that if that digit, for example, was a 3 and there were no doublers, these two digits both have to be the other side of 5 from 3. These would both have to be, in fact, they would have to be 8 and 9. But the thing is, if this digit was a low digit, these two digits would both have to be from the sort of high set. Because obviously, if this was also from 1, 2, 3, 4, these wouldn't be 5 apart. So you can use oscillation. But here we can see very simply, it's very easy to change the polarity along the line. You could have 2 high digits sequentially, if one of them is a doubler. So maybe we've got to think about this some other way. What are these things? I've just realised there's more rules. Hang on, I was just thinking, is that an even digit? No, it's not. Hang on, I'm so sorry. I didn't read down far enough in the rules. There are extra rules. High. A value on an orange circle, that's not this. A value on an orange circle must be greater than 5. And a value on a blue square, that's what this is, must be lower than 5. Ah, okay. Right. That's very helpful. So the values on the... Right. So this can't be a doubler. Right. This is huge. Okay, and so I'm so sorry. I didn't realise that I had to scroll down the rules. But... yeah, in order to create 12 different values, we're going to be doubling big digits because we can't repeat values like, say we had a 4, well, say we had an 8 on the line and a doubled 4. That's going to repeat the value of 8 on the line, and then there would be no way of having 12 discrete values. So we know that the double digits are going to be either 6s, 7s, no, or 5s. 5, 6s, 7s, 8s, or 9s. So I know that if these two digits here have to have values that are lower than 5, they cannot be doublers. So this is definitely a doubler, and therefore it's another of these high digits. But it's different from that one, because we know all the doublers are different. So these two digits are genuinely low. Now, normally you can't put 4 there. That's so rotten. Normally you can't put 4 here, because a 4 on a green line can only be flanked by 9, and you'd put 2 9s into those cells, and that would break Sudoku. But here, because that's a doubler, if that's a 9, it would work perfectly well. Oh dear. Oh, the same is true there, if that's a doubler. Oh, bobbins. I don't know then. Okay. Well, one thing I can do, actually, is I can assert polarity must be in point, where doublers are not in point. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So this being low, this digit here, which is definitely not a doubler, must be a high digit. That's got to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. The same is true here. That must be lower. That must be higher. This must be lower. Not because of this one, but because of this one. It has to be 5 different from this natural digit. And it can't itself be a doubler because this is a doubler. Yeah, this is very important actually. Now, there's a few things going on now. Firstly, yeah, this digit is high. Yeah, sorry. Let me be very clear about what I've seen here. I've got natural 1, 2, 3, and 4 already on this line. So every other digit on the line is either, and natural 5 as well, anything that is natural has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. so these digits here are one high digit and one doubler. So they are also from 6, 7, 8 and 9. Because the digit here that is undoubled can't be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 without repeating that value on the line. So this one has to be a doubler, doesn't it? Because if this wasn't doubled and was a natural digit, those two digits couldn't be 5 apart. So that's the doubler. This is not the doubler. This is a fantastic puzzle already. It's super, super interesting. Now, okay, so now we can do some trickeries, can't we? First piece of trickery. That can't be a 4 now because both of those would be 9. So we can start to employ some of the normal techniques we can use along whispers lines. Now I was going to say that can't be a 6. That's totally not true. That's totally not true. Can that really? No, that could be a 6 as well. That would be a 1, and then both of those would be enormous. Okay, that can't be a 6. That would be surrounded by double 1. That can't be a 6. It would be surrounded by double 1. Oh, right. This is ridiculously good. Oddly even. This is ridiculously good. Okay, so now, where is the natural valued 6 on this line? And the answer is, I still don't know, but it's definitely in one of those two cells. So this digit C is next to, in one of these positions, a natural valued 6. So it must be a 1. Oh my goodness, okay. Right, so that has just opened up a lot of things. Now, that's natural 1, so this can't be natural 1, that can't be natural 1, that can't be natural 1. Don't know what that means. Yeah, no, I do actually. I do. A 7, a natural 7 on a German whispers line can only be next to the digits 1 and 2. They are the only digits that are 5 apart. So this digit can't be 7 because neither of those can be a 1. They'd have to both be at least 2, and they can't both be 2 without breaking Sudoku. And the same is true of that one, isn't it? That can't be flanked by 1 and 2. So I've now got natural 8, 9 on the line. So neither of these is natural 8, 9, which means they have become a 6, 7 pair. So that digit is not 6 or 7. That is a doubled 8 or 9. Now, good grief. Maybe actually let's also make sure that we're not underplaying whatever we're learning from this pink line that's being drawn. Now, do we continue to think about this green line? I mean, I moved off it because I couldn't see what to do with it. I know. No, that doesn't work. Goodness, I don't really see what to do with it, if I'm honest. Is there? I can't. Oh, Sudoku. Sudoku will be my friend. 5 is in one of those cells. 5 is in one of these 3 cells then. Okay, I don't know. So maybe I do have to think about what. Now the pink line is just a Rembrandt. Values on a thick purple line form a set of consecutive numbers with no repeats. Values again. Right. So this time, oh yeah, this is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't know what it means yet, but I do. This is massively constrained because there are 10 cells of pink line, which means again we're in the same situation that we were befuddled with here. Because how are we doing that? And in particular, what are those 10 values? I think that's the question we have to ask. What are the 10 values it's possible to put on Renban lines? Because, of course, you can create massive values easily enough by doubling massive values, but how are you going to get the odd digit onto that Renban? So what I'm thinking is, if you doubled 8 on a Renban line, yes, you construct the value of 16 on the Renban line, but then you're going to need a 15 or a 17 to go along with it, to be consecutive with it. And there's no way with a doubler to create that value, because the double value is always going to be even. So actually, I'm now going to say that these pink lines are the complete set of pink lines in this puzzle. And there must be oh, I've just had a horrible thought. When I put my when I put the doublers in here, and I said that they had to be high, did I consider whether they could be doubled 5? I think once I knew I knew that, yeah, the blue funny rule said that was low, so I knew these had to be high. And double 5 wouldn't be sufficiently different. Okay, I don't know if I expressly considered it, but I think it was impossible anyway. So that's fine. But the reason I've now started to think about double 5 is I believe, well, hang on. Hang on, now I've broken this. Oh, now I'm totally confused, which I think is the idea of the puzzle. No, okay, sorry. Let me recapitulate my thinking. My thinking is that because I cannot create the value of 11, it's impossible to create it in this puzzle. The values on the 10 Renbanic cells that do exist in the puzzle are the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I can make 10 consecutive with 9, that's fine. But then I thought, okay, so 10 is going to be created by putting double 5 on the line. But I thought that was going to be here, and I don't think it can be because of this cell. Because if this line, if there's a doubled 5 up here, this line is 10, 9, 8, 7. And that digit, because the doubler will be double 5, there will be natural 8 and 9, and that will break. So now I've got to rethink this. So what's that mean? So that means that actually the doubled 5 is not on this line. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay. That is okay. I was thinking I'm going to have repeated values, but I don't need to have repeated values, do I? Yeah, I'm going to... Well, this is weird. So actually, I'm not going to have one of each digit on these pink lines, because I'm going to have something like a 6 and a doubled 3 on the lines. No, is that even true? No, that's not true. Hang on, how am I going to do this? I'm totally confused. I've got to have one of each value. but I know that this can't be doubled 5. Well, hang on, yeah, maybe, okay, let's approach this differently then while I try and my brain percolates on that other point. Where's the doubled 5 that must exist in one of these 10 cells? It's not there because of Sudoku on doublers. It's not there because of Sudoku and doublers. I don't believe it can be there for the reasons I've explained. So it is there. No, sorry. What am I talking about? No, it's either there or there. But it's not here. Because if this was doubled 5, this would have to be an 8-9 pair to be consecutive with the 10, and that will break these cells. So this is the doubler. And this is an 8-9 pair. And that is not an 8 or a 9. And that does absolutely diddly. You rotten old puzzle. And that is a double 5. Oh, that was right, wasn't it? I think it is clearing the fog. Let me just check. Yeah, that has cleared the fog. So that was correct deduction. It just hasn't cleared any extra fog. So now okay. How does the rest of this work? I've got to put one of these has a 1 on it, which has its natural value because you can't double the 1. The value 1 must be one of the values that appears on these lines. So either this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 collection of values and it has a 1 on it, or this is a 1, 2, 3, which would be quite interesting in the bottom row, wouldn't it? Okay, I don't think I know how to do that. And the other funny digit, if you like, on these strings is going to be 7, because that's the next highest digit. So this could be 765. But hang on. How does this do? Yeah, the thing I haven't got my head around, and forgive me for this, I'm just being thick. I haven't worked out how this doubler works. Because if if there's a 1 on that string, what am I doubling? Something's doubled, and that's going to create an even value that has to be consecutive with 1. But I can't put 2 1s on the line and then double one of them. That will break Sudoku. And if I put 2 on the line and double that to create a value of 4, the Renban can't be completed because I can't create a value of 2 from that. Right. Okay, so I finally understood it. So the point here is that the doubler up here prevents this line from having a natural 1 on it. So there is a natural 1 on this line, and this is 1, 2, 3. Probably. I'm just going to check that. Can this have it? Because this could be a doubler. And if that was a... No, it can't be a doubler. Because this has to have the values 1, 2, and 3 on it. And actually, the only way of creating a value of 2, which is the even digit you could create in that value sequence by using a doubler, is to double the 1. And if I double the 1, I don't have a natural 1 in any of the pink cells. And I haven't, therefore... I'm not able to have 10 discrete values. So this is, okay, so what we are, so we get the 5 is the point. We get the 5, we got the 5. Oh, where is 4 in the bottom row? I've got a 1, 2, 3 triple, so that's got to be 4, I think. So that's a 4, which takes 4 out of that cell, because we mustn't repeat. This square has to be 9 because it's natural, and it must be 5 different from 4 at least. And that's 9 is the only option. That's now 8. This is 6 or 7. There's a 6-7 pair in doublers. Oh no, I was seeing, so that digit's also 6 or 7. It's the same as that digit. Okay. The 1 in the 1, 2, 3 triple is in this domino, so that is not another 1. There's now a 2, 3 pair in row 8. This puzzle, it's exceptionally clever, actually. It really is. It's totally counterintuitive. All the things you've done, all the experience that you've built up by solving German whispers and Rembrandt puzzles just gets thrown out of the window, and it actually feels unhelpful because my mind keeps jumping to conclusions that are just absolutely wrong. Now, because what is this line now? Is a question. The answer to which is, I don't know. It is the values. It's the values 4, 5, 6 and 7. So there must be a 5 and a 7 natural on there. There must be, because that's the only way of creating an odd value, is to have its actual digit. So this can't be a 5 in the column. That must be a 5. Ah, that's useful. So we've got another of these funny blocky things. Now, what's the funny blocky thing mean? That's got to have, what was it? A value lower than 5. But the values, okay, the values on here are 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the value of this cell is 4, which means it's either 4 or it's double 2. Seven must be in one of those cells, because this can't be a 7, and I know there's a natural 7 on this line. And that's going to mean something. Sorry, you might be able to hear some rain. It's very unpleasant outside today. I don't know now. Oh, I've got an 8-9 pair here in row 6. I haven't put 1 into this box, or 4. Does that matter? So it's 1, these cells are 1, 4, 6 or 7. But these are definitely not 7, because there is a natural 7 up there. And there might be a natural 6 up there. It just depends on whether or not it depends whether this has got natural 6 on it or double 3. I haven't had, what have I had? I've had double 5, double 6, double 7. I've had 1 of 8 or 9 has been doubled. And somehow, I mean, this is the wonderful thing about Fog of War puzzles, is that clearly I am supposed to be able to look at this now and go, oh, you know, this cell has to be this value. I mean, how? How? I can't use the whisper, can I, somehow? It's not, we don't know, do we, which one of these? If that was 7, this would be, it would be fine. If that's 7, its value is 7. This would be 6 doubled, which is a value of 12, and that is 5 different. So that's absolutely fine to be that way round. So the value of this is 12 or 14. Gosh, the rain is absolutely coming down now. I suspect it is this line. I just can't get. I know it's got 5 on it. Do I know where that 5 goes? Is that somehow? Okay, if... Yes, I see. Yes, I do. I know where the 5 goes. Now, okay, the point here is that if the 5 is in box 1, where is it? It would have to be in one of those cells. So these would be a 5, 7 natural. This would be... This cell, remember, has a value of 4. So this cell has to have the value 6 on this line. Now we can't double 3 this because it can't contain a doubler. So it has to actually be a 6, and that's going to clash. So that doesn't work, and that is a 5. And oh no, I thought that would clear fog. Okay, bother. Okay, that's... Oh, well, no, this is fine. No, this is fine. Where's that digit in column 3? Is it? That might have been available already. I just didn't spot it. Where does that digit go in column 3? It can't go on this line. There are no such values of 8 or 9 on this line. So it must be there, mustn't it? It's the only place it can go. So that digit is a 9, which means that digit's a 9, that digit's an 8. One of those digits is now a 9. Again, that's really not done as much as I was hoping. Oh dear. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the digits we've got left to place in box 4 are 2, 3, 4, and 8. That's definitely not 8. That's definitely not 8. So where is 8 in column 3? That's another reasonable question. We can't put it on this line without repeating the value 8. So 8 is there. Yep, that's correct. So 8 is over here now. And... well, I don't know what that's going to mean. Something, I'm sure. So I know I've got the value 7 up here. I might have a plain vanilla 6. That is possible. And that would make this a 1-4 pair, which would make this a double 2, and this a 3. Or I've got to have a doubled 3 up here to give me the value of 6. This would be a 4. So one of these could be doubled 3. And what would that do to the world? I haven't got a clue. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, I've got nothing here. Wow. This apparently is resolved, and I don't see how I meant to know that. If this was... I probably do know somehow that this is... Oh, hang on, I can't repeat values. I can't repeat values between those two anyway. It's impossible. Oh, I don't understand this at all. This is absolutely baffling. I'm so sorry if this is obvious to everybody. Or is it... how many... So this either has 6 on it, or if it has 6 on it... Okay, here... Oh, I've got it. It's Sudoku. It's not really Sudoku. It's horribly intricate, but beautiful as well once you see it. This can't be a 4 in any circumstance. Because if this is a 4... 6 is also going to be looking at this line, and you're going to have a 2 here, which is going to have to be doubled, but there's no way to create the value of 6 then, because you can't double the 3 as well as the 2. It's very clever. That's very clever. Not of me. It's taken me ages to see that, but the point of that is now look, 4 is here, and where's 4 in box thingy? Box 5, and the answer is exactly... Oh, it did. It gave me something. That's the parity line, is it? But let's just take stock for a second. Can I do anything else with this little lovely 2x2? Maybe I can't. Oh dear. Oh, I don't know then. Okay. So maybe we do have to look at this line. So how does this line work? We've got to put... Do we know anything? Oh, we do. Ah, hang on. There is a doubler on this line. That's interesting. Because this can't be a doubler, remember. We worked that out. This has to have the natural 1, 2 and 3 values on it. So there's a doubler by Sudoku on a parity line. The doubler will have an even value. So there's got to be a natural odd value on this line, and that's going to have to be 7 or 9, isn't it? Because we've already had 1, 3 and 5 from the box. So one of these digits is 7 or 9. I'm looking at that, trying to see whether there's some way we know which of those it is. I don't think there is. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I don't understand this yet, but my brain is telling me to concentrate on the fact that this digit is on this line as well. Does that mean that has to be 7? I'm not sure. I need to think this through. This digit is not allowed to repeat in doublers. So it's not that digit, which means it's this digit. So this digit is one of those 2 digits. Now, this has already been doubled. So when this arrives on this line, it is not the doubler. And we know, therefore, yeah, that digit is either 7 or 9. We've just worked that out. So that digit is 7. This is just absolutely... It's incredible setting, this. Now, that's now 7. That's now 6. We've got another... We already knew that was low. We already knew that. Hang on, let me just think about... That's now not 7. So I've got a 1, 4, 6 triple. 7 is here, so 9 isn't. Well, no, that's not true. No, it is true, actually. Because the doubler here has to be a doubler that we haven't had. So the double digit... Oh, actually, that might be important. So the double digit is not 5, 6, 7 or 9. So it's either 8 or 4. Because it can't be 1, 2 or 3 by Sudoku. So this line is from 4, 7, 8. And that means 6 and 9 in the box are up here. Which means this square isn't a 6. There is a 9 in one of those cells. Whoopsie, let's do a corner pencil mark. And... oh no, now I'm going to get stuck again, aren't I? What? Oh no. Oh, what did we got? We got that thing. Why does that matter? Oh yeah, okay, so oh no, that still doesn't matter. I was going to say it's because you can't repeat a digit in the funny thingies. But there's no necessity for us to repeat. They are a 2, 3, 4 triple. Oh, or no, that's not true. Oh, I see. Oh no, oh my goodness. I mean, this puzzle is designed. It's actually been designed to be horrific. It's horrific. Yeah. So I said, what I just said then was total and utterly wrong. It's totally wrong. And let me explain why. I said, because those were all blue, and you can't repeat, in my mind, I was thinking you can't repeat a digit on a constraint. Duh. So I said they had to be 2, 3, and 4 as a triple. Well, let me ask you then, where am I putting, in this column, this digit here? Where's that going in this column? If you can't repeat this digit in either of those cells, there's nowhere to put it. So these are not a triple in terms of digits. One of them has to be doubled. It's the only way that makes sense. And the only one that can be doubled is that one, which means that is a 2. I really hope that cleared fog, because that would not make sense to me if it didn't. That was totally logical, what I just said. It may not have sounded it, but it was. Right, now this is definitely a 6-7 pair now to make this a Renban. 2 as a value of 4 has appeared in those cells, so that can't be 4. This has got to be 4. That worked. Aha. Aha. And now it's going to work, because I can put a 4 up here. 4, 5, 9 is what they are. 1, 3, 8 is what these are. And that's beautiful, because now that is a 2. That is a 3. That is a 2. I'm hoping this might clear. It did clear fog, but it didn't. Oh, that's a 6. This is a 2. Oh, another line. We'll go off and investigate that in a moment. Let me just see whether or not we can do any more Sudoku anywhere. Oh, it's most unlike me to try and do Sudoku, isn't it? That's probably just a fool's errand. There's a 2 in one of those by Sudoku. So there's a 2 in one of these. And there's a new parity line that's at least going there and there, and may go further. And it's got to have different values to that one. Okay. Yeah, I can see something there. Right, this is what the cell I think that's interesting. Because that is definitely not a doubler. And it's definitely not a natural even digit, because it can't be 2, 4, 6, or 8. So that must be odd, which means it's 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Now it's not 5 or 9. It's 1, 3, or 6. It's not 7, because 7's already been on. And there's a natural 7 on that parity line. So this is 1 or 3. And that's odd, isn't it? So this cell, hang on, this cell is naturally even, because it's not a doubler. So that's got to be 2 or 4 now. Can't be 6 or 8. And then this digit must be odd, so it must be undoubled, which we could have seen anyway. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is fine. This digit is also 1 or 3, because again, it can't be 5, 9, or 7. So now I've had 1 and 3 on parity lines, but I've only got these parity lines. If that was a 4, no, it would have the value of 4, wouldn't it? Whereas I think there's going to be a doubled 4 or a doubled 8 down here. Oh, bobbins. Okay. So has that done anything for us then? I don't know. We presumably have to do Sudoku on this column, do we? Where we've got 2, 4, and 7 to place. So that is naked. That's it. Look at this column. We've got to put 2, 4 and 7 into those 3 cells, and that one seems to have to only be 2, which means that one is a 4, that one is a 7, and we need, oh, it didn't, oh no, maybe it does it there. Aha, aha, there we go, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to think about this, just in case there's some more Sudoku we can do. We can put a 7 in one of those. Okay, and what have we got now over here? We've got that and that, at least. And we've already... Okay, so that, I mean, that's a T pentomino of parity line. And I've already had 5 parity line cells. So there's now 10 parity line values. Oh no, bobbins. There's definitely a doubler on here as well. So this is all totally fine in terms of repeating values. So far on parity lines, I've definitely had the values 1, 3, 4 and 7. So I can't repeat any of those. Now, what does that mean? I would love to know. Okay. So is it that? It might not be this one, but that one might be under pressure, I think. Can that be odd, is the question I want to ask. If this is an odd parity, it's got to be, we know it's undoubled, and it would have to be 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. Now it sees 1, 5, 7 and 9 in its row, and it sees 3 through parity line. We've already had a 3 on a parity line. So this is definitely even, and it's definitely not a doubler. So it's a natural even digit that is not 8, and it is 2, 4 or 6, and it's not 4, we've had that already. So it's 2 or 6. This is odd, and it's not 1 or 3 or 7. So it's 5, oh, it's 5 or 9, and that's fine, it's 5. Oh, okay. I don't think that's not the effect we were looking for, is it? So we've got 1, 2 and 7 to put into those cells by Sudoku. That's definitely not 2. Bother. Bother. Okay. So now... Yeah, okay, but now this line is more tractable, I think, because how could the wings of this line be odd parity? They couldn't be the doubler, could they? Because doublers are only going to create even parity values. So they'd have to be natural odd digits, and they've all gone, basically. Well, 9 hasn't gone, but 1, 3, 5 and 7 have gone. So one of these can be 9, and the other one would be broken. It would be impossible to fill. So this is odd parity, which means it's not doubled, and it is 9 because that's the only... Oh, well, it is 9. It's the only one left, but that didn't clear the fog. So that's not 9. The sort of biblical rain outside is prodigious, but so now these include... I think they include a doubler, which could be the doubled 8. We just don't know. So there's going to be a double digit there, and then the other digit, the natural digit, is actually going to be an even digit. So that must be 6 or 8, but I think it could be 6. Perhaps. I mean, this is, again, it's terrifying, because that means I've missed something, doesn't it? Because unless I can deduce something about this line, Is it something to do with the... oh, I don't know. The range of doublers we've got left to place. I've had a 2 doubler, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. So I've got to place a doubler that's 1, 3, 4, or 8. It's not a double 4. We've had 4 there. So the doubler here is 1, 3, or 8. So these digits are 1, 3, 8 for the doubler, and then possibly a 6 is the other digit that could go in there, because we know that there's a natural even, which is either the 6 or the 8. So now 7 in this row is definitely in one of those cells. So that's definitely not a 7. And now, does that help us though? 7 is definitely in one of these. Oh no! Come on! I don't know what to do. I assure... oh, I see. I've got a doubler in one of those. I don't think it's going to be doubler logic though. I wish it was. I wish it was. We don't, I think, know anything about box 3. And I mean, I know its doubler's not in those cells, but I don't think... I think it could be in any of those 6, I think. Oh, I mean, it is fantastic. It's fantastic that puzzles like this exist. That, yeah, that it can be... you can get to this point and it be completely unclear what you have to do next. 2, 3, 4, 6. So this digit is 2, 3, or 6. I'm desperately seeing whether it's some sort of Sudoku jiggery pokery. 4 is in one of those cells. Because the other thing about Fog of War, of course, it could just be one cell and that will open up the grid and then we'll understand everything. That is very possible. 4 is not there. 7, 2. Oh, 2 is in one of those 2 cells because of this pencil mark 2. 9. 5. No, we've had doubled 5. Have we had... oh, it might be... I bet it'll be something to do with values. Let me think about that. So on parity lines... hang on. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? God dear. Right, on parity lines... no, because... oh, hang on. I'm just confusing myself now. So if... I think it's something to do with this. It's to do with whether or not the value 8 has appeared on a parity line, I think. I definitely know 8 is up here. I just don't know if it's doubled or not. If it was doubled, that would have the value, obviously, of 16. And then this would have to be 4, 7, and the 4 would be doubled, and that would have the value of 8. But if this has... No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confusing myself even further now. Where are all the parity lines? I've got those, and those, haven't I? I've had all the odd values. I've had the value of 4. But if this did have 4 on it, it wouldn't be as a natural 4, it would be as a doubled 4. So if that had doubled 4 on it, this 8 would have to be natural. And then the other digit would have to be 1 or 3 doubled. And both of those, well, 1 or 3 doubled would actually sort this out, because 1 doubled is 2. So that would stop this being a 2, and 3 doubled is 6, which would stop this being a 6. Okay, so I don't think I do know how that works. Which means I'm totally stuck still. What could it be? I don't know. I know there's a 7 on here, because the 7 repeated here. I know that there is a 6 up here. That is still true. I know this is a 1, 3. Is that somehow resolved? It would be resolved if I knew that digit wasn't 7. Ah, hang on, 7's looking there. That's... okay, so that's 7 now. That should clear fog. Oh, it did! Okay, that's a relief, isn't it? I was really struggling. Hang on, let's just do Sudoku on this digit, though. 1, 3, or 6. Now, can we do better? No. Oh, well. Okay, what were the orange lines, or orange thingies? A value... Oh, must be greater than 8. Oh, so that's 8. Because it's not doubled. It can't be 1 or 3. That's actually relatively straightforward, thank goodness. So this one... well, that one's under no... oh, I've got a 1, 3 pair in row 2 now. Right, but let's go back to this. This has to have a value... ah... oh, this is it. This is interesting. Yeah, that has to have a value that's greater than 5. How does it do that? It sees 6, 7, 8, and 9. It has to be doubled. It has to be doubled. And that means that this isn't doubled. So this is the 7. Which means that isn't a 7. This isn't a 7, obviously. So that's doubled 4 or doubled 8. This is the green digit. That's not the green digit. That stops this being doubled. So that's the double. This can't be a doubler now. I think all the doublers are located. So can that be 5? We've had doubled 5. No. That can't be 5. And the value of this is at least 5. So we're not doubling 1 there, are we? So in terms of the doublers I've left to place, I've got 1, 3, 4, 8. Now it's not 8 by Sudoku. It's not 1 because it wouldn't get high enough. So it is 3 or 4. Oh, that's so clever. It's so clever, Oddlyeven. How can it be doubled 4? And you may say, well, it can be. No, because that would have the value of 8. And that's got a value of 8. So that's got to be a value of 3. Didn't clear any fog. But now we've had doubled 3. So 3 can't be the doubler in there. And that was the only way 3 got onto this, wasn't it? By being the doubler. Yeah, because 3 natural is no use to man nor ornament because it wouldn't have the right parity. Okay, that's good. That's good. It might not be enough, but it's good. Okay. I wish I knew what that meant. So I've now had the value of 6 in orange circles. And I've had the value of 8. And it must be this one, mustn't it? I don't know. But that digit is, in terms of pure... Oh, no. I'm not asking that question. I'm going to ask a different question. Where is the doubled 4 in the puzzle? That's the only place it can be. So that is double 4. So that's 4. That's 1. These squares are now an 8-9 pair, which is rather pretty. These squares are a 1-3 pair, I'm going to claim. So these squares are something. 5, 6, 9. That's a naked single. No, be careful. There's a 5 here, Simon. 6, 9, and 8 is unfortunately not as good because that doesn't work. Oh, okay. Well, at least we didn't make a boo-boo. Now, this is... So we haven't had doubled 1. And we haven't had doubled 8. And we haven't had doubled... So that's the same point there, isn't it? This is a 1 or an 8. I mean, this must be resolved. I'm sure it is. I'm sure you're all shouting at me, and I wouldn't blame you. This is a 4 by Sudoku. That did clear some fog. That's a 4 by Sudoku. Please clear the fog. Please. That's a 4. Oh, hang on. That is good. Okay, there we go. I'm sure that's going to be very important. How does this all work? Right, what are the values of these? They have to be, they're not doublers, and their values have to be greater than 5, so they can't be 5. And they can't be 6, and they can't be 8, because I've had those. So they are 7 and 9, is what we've just learnt. And that presumably will do some... Yeah, that does something. So that's 5. Yeah, that worked. That's 9. I've got my 5 is placed in this box. I hadn't seen that. And now these squares have got to be, I think, 6 and 8 by Sudoku. Which, I mean, you just think that must be resolved. Well, if that's 6 and 8, though, that square's a 1. That's a 3. Yeah, 3, 1, 1, 2. Oh, thank goodness. I now think we might be able to solve this. It is an absolutely bamboozling puzzle, let me tell you. 6, 3. If that's 1, that's 8, which is not actually... So this has to be even parity, and it's got to be 6. So that puts 2 here. Good. Are we going to get chocolate teapotted there? Maybe. Oh no, here we go. We're still in the game vis-a-vis Sudoku. We can still keep going. 9 has to go somewhere in box 2, so that's a 2. That seems to be a 5 now. What do we need in here? 1 and 2. Yeah, we can do it. 2, 1, 6 and 8. Yes, we can do that. 6 and 8. That's going to do my chocolate teapot down here. This... Oh, yeah, look. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Losing its religion. That's a naked single. Unsurprisingly, that's... There. We did it. We did it. That was absolutely bewildering. Oh, no, it's not finished. Oh, dear. At least we know it's right so far. That's a relief. Now, I think it probably is finished. Yes. Congratulations. You are now defuddled. You're defuddled. You're you might be defuddled, but I'm fuddled. I'm fuddledy-duddled. Let me tell you, I am properly fuddledy-duddled by this. I've been absolutely fuddledy-duddled because that was very hard. That was very hard, Oddlyeven, but it's really clever. I loved the fact that all the lines were too long. They just had no right to be as long as they were, or to occupy as many cells as they were. And the logic that led to it's very original. I mean that felt. I mean it did felt fuddly-duddling because you had to unlearn so much of what normally would work. And let's just check 1, 2, 3. It must be 4. I mean I know it's right. I'm just checking. I've got one of each in my red cells, which I do, and that's a good thing. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.